Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to, well, not good evening actually, good afternoon. I'm so used to recording in the evening that that's just become my introduction now. It is the afternoon. This is a terrible time for some people, a good time for others. I really don't know, nor do I care. I'm just going to record when it is convenient for me and just be reassured of the fact that I wish that I could be live for you. Like for you, at a time that is suitable for you, but unfortunately, I don't live a very carefully structured life, so yeah, like I go live when I can. Really, the best way for me to approach it is to just go live more frequently if possible, and I would like to do that. Shit, I don't have a bottle opener. That's alright, I will fix that, but at any rate, welcome back to Dark Souls 2. We are in our faith build. I hope everything is fine with the audio. I've been going back and forth between different games, so that does make things a little more confusing, but at any rate, I'm going to get my chat up, and then I will probably, after, I don't know, finishing or concluding my introduction, grab my bottle opener. It's a rather auspicious day. I only found out probably 30 to 40 minutes ago that my first cousin is getting married, which is kind of crazy because I only met him and his betrothed about 2 days ago, so, and he's from America, so, yeah, they're getting married and it's sort of, it doesn't really feel real. He's sort of a distant younger brother to me, and he feels the same way. And, yeah, it's nice, but, yeah, it's a cause for some form of celebration. I'm celebrating by drinking a nice German beer, Echtschlenkerler Rauchbier Krausen, which is, you know, a German beer. I don't know if this one's seasonal. I've only ever had the seasonal Echtschlenkerler beers, but I think this one might not actually be seasonal. In the world of German brewing, Krausen refers to the intense proliferation of bubbles and foam formed during the fermentation of a young or green beer. And aufkrausen, literally to krausen it up, refers to a historic brewing technique which in some green beer is added to a fully matured lager. Well, I hope this is not reminiscent of lager in any sort of way, or at least not in any sort of way that I'd be able to taste, because I'm not a lager drinker, and I'm sure you can appreciate that. Echtschlenkerler Krausen is an amber-coloured, unfiltered lager beer with beautiful malt flavors and a slight smokiness. Okay, well it is actually referred to as a lager beer, but it is considered to be very good. I've never actually had a good lager before. I've always had very low quality, and when I say low quality, I'm actually referring to probably every lager you've ever had. Like, most lager that any of us have ever had is low quality shit. So, you know, Heineken, etc., you know, just very basic, standard stuff. But yeah, moving on. With beautiful malt flavors and a slight smokiness, it matures for months in the deep rock cellars underneath the Schlenkerler brewery and is krausened with Echtschlenkerler Rauchbier just before bottling. Well, you know what? I've always wanted to have a good lager, like a lager that is worth drinking. There are so few of them out there, and quite frankly, so many cultures have developed a taste for bad beer, and that is standard lager. People actually like the taste of it, but it's actually a bad taste. I mean, I suppose you could argue that that's purely subjective and that I'm trying to inject a level of objectivity into something that couldn't possibly be objective, but that's the way I see it, you know? Standard lager taste is not good, it's bad. And I think the best way to find what a good tasting lager is to actually have good lager, and this may be one such example. It's probably not accurate to describe it as a standard lager that's of good quality. It's definitely some form of augmentation of a standard lager. It seems to be smoky and it has some additional, they say Echtschlenkerler Rauchbier has been added just before bottling. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I suppose what they're trying to say is that they're adding their own style to it. But at any rate, I'm eager to have a nice lager for once in my life. Anyway, and don't worry, there's plenty of garbage lager in this country that's brewed in this country that you can find in every fucking bar and pub in this country that, quite frankly, is worse than drinking your own urine. So, anyway, I am going to grab a bottle opener. I will be back momentarily. I was intending for the introduction to be less beer-focused and more game-focused, but that's just going to have to be your introduction. I'll be back momentarily with some means to actually open this bottle. Also, I don't know if I look hot, but it's really hot. I will have informed, well, I did certainly inform all of you of this fact in my previous Kingdoms of Amalur recording, which was recorded last night, but things haven't changed. It's still fucking hot, and I'm getting sick of it. But I will have to endure this for another 2 months approximately. Again, that's the beer. Fortunately, it's not actually backwards. The label is correctly orientated, because this is not mirrored view, this is actual Doomlink here. Whenever I'm on the left side, that is mirrored Doomlink. You are currently seeing Doomlink on the right side, which is not mirrored Doomlink. It is an ambered coloured lager. Some people are going to look at this and go, this isn't lager. Well, I don't know. They're calling it lager. I'm sure they know more about the process of brewing this beer than you or I do, at least at this stage, before you've gone and researched, if you were so inclined. But at any rate, we're going to see how it smells. Oh. The smell isn't extraordinary. It's not really the sort of smell that I like, but of course the flavour is what we are really interested in. And I will sample that momentarily. You can see that my microphone cable is visible. We don't want that. If it seems like it looks weird, it's because it's actually a yellow cable, and yellow is similar to green, and so it was taking some of the colour out of it. The cable does not literally look like, I don't know, some sort of galaxy compressed into a cylindrical cable. But anyway, let's go and assess what the hell is going on in this build. I believe that we have access to the Iron Keep at this stage. We seem to have already leveled up. We don't have much in the way of souls at this time. If I have access to the Iron Keep, do I want to go there yet, or would I prefer to venture elsewhere? So, I don't think I have access to the Shaded Woods at this stage because I don't have a Fragrant Branch of Yore. I believe one can be purchased from Melentia, though. Alright, for those of you who have been watching my Monster Hunter Tri recordings, you will probably know that I've been struggling with my controller, and I haven't been entirely sure if it's related to the emulation of that game or if it is a physical issue with my controller. I'm getting the same issues here with my analog stick, and what that means is that it is a physical controller issue. Okay, well, maybe you can't purchase a Fragrant Branch of Yore from this woman here. Fine. What that means is that I can't make my way to the Shaded Woods, which is unfortunate, but I'm happy to deal with that and limit my options as a result. What this means is that there are two directions for me to go in. I can either go to Sinner's Rise and try my hand at the Lost Sinner, which is probably going to be a little easier to do now than when I was attempting to kill him with a standard mace that was unupgraded. I now have the Pursuer's Greatsword, not upgraded but indeed fairly strong, dealing 263 damage with 25 strength, two-handed, so I have a distinct feeling that I'll be dealing a bit more damage to this enemy this time around if I were to attempt it again, and I think I will attempt it again. We're going to have a look at our human effigies. We have 3 apparently, so that's not a lot actually. That is a lot less than I was expecting. I think I was being really stupid and was constantly healing myself for the What was it? The Mytha fight. Yeah, I think I failed maybe three times with Mytha, which was bad. But we got that done at any rate. What we're going to do is give Sinner's Rise a try. I'm going to make sure that the thing that needs to be muted is muted, because if it's not, we're all going to be in deep shit. It is not muted for some reason. So I'm assuming you guys heard that fucking horrendous sound. What I have to tell you is that that horrendous sound can actually be muted, but for some reason it keeps unmuting itself, and it's so unacceptable that words fail. I don't know. You know, that stupid popping sound, that's essentially the driver that allows my PlayStation 3 controller to be recognized as a 360 controller, and it has a horrendous sound associated with the unplugging and plugging back in of the controller. And it's not okay, especially when I mute it. So basically I go into my Windows sound settings, I right click and go to volume mixer, mute this fucking application, and then it just unmutes itself. And then I'm live with this really loud fucking crap blasting your ears. It's just really... There is not a single aspect to that which is acceptable. Like, it's actually unbelievable that I'm being subjected to that, and in turn being forced to subject my audience to that. Let's try this lager. Also, hello, Ethan. Can't say I've ever had a smoky lager before. I don't know if I like it. I suppose, this particular beer type, this brewery, has something of a penchant for smoky brews, but, yeah, it's interesting to try a fucking smoky lager. Definitely better than your average lager, but lager is lager. I can't say I'm utterly taken with its flavour, but it's okay. It's okay. I've definitely had worse beer, we'll put it that way. And every lager I've ever had, except for that one, has been pretty bad, so... Yeah, that's my experience. Most lager is bad, though. That is a fact. I'm going to double check to make sure that I'm happy with the volume of the game. I am probably not happy with the volume of the game. That's a little too loud, so I'm going to drop it down to whatever that is, and then proceed. Yeah, well, that's very well positioned, I have to say. Oh, by the way, I did not check to make sure that I was happy with my life gems. Let's double check that. What am I doing? I am not happy with my life gems at all. I need to purchase some. I'm not yet ready to take this place on. Oh, can you stop? If you ever wanted to know what's wrong with this fucking game, it is the fact that I can be standing right in front of this enemy, swing my sword at him, and still end up off target. Oh, well, move yourself correctly, Doomlink. Well, you see, I shouldn't need to. I was actually moving myself in the direction of that enemy, but because of where I was positioned in relation to him, I started walking in some other direction. Oh, that's great. That is my fucking controller disconnecting and reconnecting. I really do need to work on my fucking setup. Like, my main PC controller is approaching a level of brokenness, for lack of a better term, that is really starting to become disruptive for my recording, so I do need to get another controller. Next time I get paid, I'll get one. Alright, so we're going to head back to Majula. I'm not pleased about it, but we're going to go back there, and we're going to get some life gems. Not many. In fact, we can only afford 2 if I'm correct in the price that I have in my head. Oh no, I'm entirely incorrect with the price. I thought it was 800. Okay, well, fine. Thank you kindly, here, says Melentia. Not that you really needed to hear that from me. 5 life gems is not great. Okay? But I'm just in the sort of mood. It's work with the bare minimum at this stage. Okay. So again, we are currently alive. We can summon what's-her-face, Lucatiel of Miral. I've decided that I'm actually going to pronounce the H, Miral. Just make it sound like I've got a some sort of obstruction in my throat that I'm trying to cough out. How is it that you can reload that so fucking quickly? What's that about? Get the fucking backstab, or don't, I suppose. You know, there are ways to approach this that are just a little more methodical, less retarded, but whatever. That's how we're doing it, apparently. Let's go and bring this lift back up. So again, my only alternative to this, to be honest, is to take on the Iron Keep, and I don't really feel like doing the Iron Keep right now. It's not entirely outside my capabilities at this point in the build, but it is a little uncomfortable. But if I'm being fair, this isn't all that comfortable either. So we've got 3 Estus Flasks and 5 Life Gems and Lucatiel. We'll see how we go. I'm not really expecting too much success. Oh, that's right. I don't think I have that key to get to the... Alright, so we are going to be fighting the Lost Sinner without the boss area lit up. I have actually forgotten how to do that. I need to get a key and then light, you know, the oil in the chambers, but get over here. Oh great, these fucking enemies. Don't hurt Lucatiel, okay? Please don't. That last guy really did not pose much of a threat. He really should have fallen over and exploded much sooner than that, but he didn't, so that was very lucky. Okay. Lucatiel, I do hope that you and I will be enough to get the Lost Sinner dispatched. To be completely honest, my level of self-confidence is low, but I do have Homewood here. I'm going to try and use Homewood to escape if it feels as if we're going to fail. Because at least at that point I'm not wasting human effigies, I'm instead just wasting time. But I suppose it wouldn't be wasting time because with each attempt I'm going to get a little better at this fight. See how we're going. Wow, I can barely fucking target. When I say barely target, I mean I almost have to be touching this fucking enemy to be able to target. That is because the room is dark, that's the idea. That's why it's beneficial to actually light the room. Alright, so again, we do have Lucatiel here giving us a hand. She can take a few hits, as we can tell, but if she just takes hits and doesn't really do much else, then it's really not going to be helpful. Alright, that was good. That was good. Happy to see that. Managed to get an attack out before the Lost Sinner repositioned. Have to keep a visual of this boss, because as you can probably tell, it does tend to reposition very quickly. I think the Lost Sinner is female. I believe I was informed of that at some point. Or rather, reminded of it. Don't remember when, but... The irony is that I don't remember when I was reminded, so... Great. That did not really... eventuate in the way that I wanted it to. Here we go. Try to target. Alright, we are in the unenviable position of having Lucatiel almost dead, and yet this boss is probably going to outlive Lucatiel. I don't like that. I don't want to be put in the position where I have to solo it. Here we go. I think we might do it. There we go, there's the Lost Sinner. I'm happy to see that. Okay. Soul of the Lost Sinner, I'm going to once again... Yep, I'm happy with that game volume, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure that I was okay with it. We managed to get 43,000 souls. If you do recall, when we last attempted to fight the Lost Sinner with Lucatiel, with an unupgraded mace, we did actually deal more than half of the Lost Sinner's health before I was basically getting pummeled, which, to be honest, means that, considering how much more damage I'm dealing now, I should actually be able to succeed first try. And we did succeed first try, so I can at least take some pleasure in that result. Don't press that button, please. Here we go, we got a fragrant branch of yore, which does make sense because, again, the Shaded Woods is another direction that we can go in, and we have been given a fragrant branch of yore that can be used to go to another required location, or to go in another required direction. That is one of the primal bonfires lit. I do believe that is the first one that we've lit, or rekindled as they say. I can't remember how many primal bonfires there are, or at least how many we need to actually light before going somewhere else. Anyway, let's just accept the way things are. We've lit a primal bonfire, we've dealt with the Lost Sinner, let's continue on. I'm glad that you're here live, by the way. Your new uncle, as you are referred to. Yeah, I do actually agree that Lucatiel was more helpful this time. Whoa, what's going on? If the game could not shit itself, that would be excellent. Okay, so how do I feel about the Lost Sinner's soul? I'm trying to remember what it's used for. I was going to mention this before I saw the comment in Twitch. I do believe that you can make a sword with it. The Lost Sinner's sword may be good, but whether or not it's appropriate for this build is unknown to me at this time. I'm going to check to see what Strayed can do with it, if anything. I don't mind going and deliberately checking that because we can warp straight to Strayed's location. So, it's not exactly a waste of time. What I'm not pleased to see is the fact that I have to deal with these fucking enemies every time I want to talk to Strayed. Naturally, I do not want Strayed to be harmed at all. That would be really bothersome. Look at him. He's literally engaged in combat because these things keep exploding around him. It's ridiculous. Alright, what has been dropped? An alluring skull. Maybe you can throw that as a distraction, but still. I want to see if the Lost Sinner's sword or anything relating to the Lost Sinner can be forged with this fellow. Alright, nothing at the moment. Well, probably nothing ever through him. Definitely nothing ever through him, so I don't know why I was phrasing it in that way. Let's go and check on El Google. Dark Souls 2, Soul of the Lost Sinner. I just don't clearly remember what I can do with them. I'm sure I can do something. I have to refamiliarize myself with this. Fextra Life is... I don't really know what to say other than this is pathetic. Fextra Life is white right now. Totally white. Except for a few little things. Okay, Fextra Life is broken, that's fine. It gives me pleasure to not actually go to Fextra Life. Let's try the fandom wiki. Oh, never mind, this is actually my, this is my browser shooting itself. Okay. Why is my browser shooting itself? I'll fucking open Chrome then. I use Vivaldi for anyone who wants to know. It's okay, but it has its moments where it's really not okay. I've been using Vivaldi for the last 3 years. It's been okay, I just really wanted to leave Chrome behind, I was sick of it. I'm sick of how heavy it was on the system. And obviously privacy related things. Dark Souls 2, Soul of the Lost Sinner. Alright, I'll try Fextra Life. Fine. What have we got here? Okay, the Lost Sinner sword is indeed something that can be forged using this soul, and it is traded with Weaponsmith Ornifex. We're going to have a look at the Lost Sinner's sword, and determine whether or not it's something I want to use. It is a strength-based weapon, with a requirement of 18 dexterity. And it can actually be infused, not just upgraded as a raw weapon, which is very good. It is reinforced with petrified dragon bones, but again, it can be given an element. So, let me just have a look and see how things end up if we infuse it with lightning. Well, that's a very nice lightning weapon. It's 322 raw with 322 lightning, which for a faith build is very attractive. So I am going to actually keep that soul. I'd like to use the Lost Sinner's Sword for that. Yeah. I'm going to look at some additional information. Riposte damage with this weapon seems to be dependent on the position of the enemy to the player. Oh. So, literally the damage dealt will change depending on where you're positioned? That's weird. I've never come across that. For example, initiating a riposte against an enemy lower than the player on an inclined surface will cause significantly more damage. What? That sounds more like a bug than a feature. Whatever. The rolling two-handed attack on this weapon is its only thrust move, okay. Attack rating scales down with your sin level, regardless of the weapon sinned with. Okay. Well, I don't expect to have any sin level. I was expecting having sin to be beneficial with the Lost Sinner's Sword, but apparently not. Yeah, I have no intention of sinning. And it says it scales down as you sin, so... yeah, I'm just going to assume that I'm reading that correctly, and that the Lost Sinner's Sword is actually worth making for this build, so I'm happy to do that. Well, rather happy to keep the soul and not consume it right now. We'll have to wait until we gain access to Weaponsmith Ornifex, however. We're not too far away from gaining access to her, but we are going to have to forego these souls for the moment. Ruined Sentinel Soul, I'm fucking consuming that. I'm sick of having that in my inventory. Why the hell is it even there? Why was I so hesitant to consume it? I could just get another one if I really did just make a mistake. It's not the end of the world. Okay, let me look at my stats again and evaluate the priority in this moment. That's correct. So sinning is, as a prime example, attacking non-aggressive NPCs. And it was described as your sin level causing, or rather your sin level scales down the damage of the Lost Sinner's Sword. And it doesn't matter what weapon you use to commit the sin, it is the sin level itself. So, yeah. Which to me is counterintuitive, considering that is the sword of the lost sinner. Why would the sword belonging to the sinner actually become weaker depending on how much sin you have? That's fucking weird. I hope it's not the opposite of that, because I don't really want a weapon that could be stronger if I was sinning more, if that makes sense, because I don't want to sin in this game. I don't want to kill non-aggressive NPCs. Maybe I need to do more investigation into this. Let's actually look at the Fextra Life Wiki, which is going to be entirely more comprehensive and accurate than the Fextra Life Wiki. Dark Souls 2, not Dark Soils, but Dark Souls 2. Depending on your accent, maybe you would say Soils. Sword of the Lost Sinner. I try not to spend too much time investigating things like this, but better to check now than later. Alright, Fextra Life, not Fextra Life, we want the Fandom Wiki. Here we go. Not the Fandom Wiki, I want the Wiki.wiki. Where is that? Here we go, Dark Souls 2 Wiki. Not the fucking Fandom Wiki. We really don't want that. The Wiki.wiki is where it's going to be best. Okay. Here we go, notes. This weapon scales negatively with sin up to 30, in addition to regular scaling. This sin modifier lowers the total AR linearly to be 0 at 30 sin, meaning at 0 sin it has regular scaling, then each point of sin reduces the scaling by the same amount until at 30 sin the scaling is equal to the base damage but negative, resulting in a total AR of 0. However, despite the AR reaching 0 on screen, the sword will still have an effective AR equal to its base damage. Thus, raw upgrade path is recommended for high levels of sin. I'm just gonna not sin, quite frankly. I'm just hoping I'm still reading this correctly. Like, this is a negative effect on the weapon's damage, right? It is, it has to be. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why would the Sinner's sword lose damage if you're sinning? It's weird. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't understand. But apparently that makes sense to the people who made this game, so I'm just gonna leave it be. Apparently, oh okay, so I didn't actually know this, I only found out when I saw the picture, but now I've confirmed it. The Lost Sinner's sword is actually an ultra greatsword. I assumed that it was going to be a regular greatsword. So it happens to be one of the lightest ultra greatswords. Around the same weight as the Drakewing Ultra Greatsword, which actually happens to be a fairly good dexterity-based Ultra Greatsword, if you can believe that. And also the Zweihänder. So, yeah, I'm happy to be using a light Ultra Greatsword, which from what I can tell is going to be fairly good for a Faith build when infused with Lightning. So, let's just go ahead with that. We don't have to worry about that sin business, because I do not seek to increase my sin level as I play. I suppose it's just a weird detriment or demerit for people who choose to sin, but I don't really find any benefit in doing that, if that makes sense. I generally don't do things like kill NPCs when I'm playing this game, or any other Souls game for that matter. Okay, so that was educational, albeit confusing, but yeah, let's now evaluate what we want to upgrade. I don't want to leave Vigor behind, but I also want to keep on top of strength so that I don't have to be two-handing for too much longer. So what I'm going to do is actually just dump some points into strength. I'm at a point in the build where I can live without too much health. 10 vigor is going to be okay for a while. So I think we're going to just shoot for strength. 18 dexterity happens to be the minimum amount of dexterity required for the Lost Sinner's Sword as well. So that's very helpful. We have taken our strength to 30. While we can't actually one-hand the sword that we have equipped at this stage yet, we have obviously increased its damage by raising our strength by 5 points. It is now dealing 271 damage, as opposed to what it was before, and I don't remember what it was before, but I'm sure that you can go and check that if you were really curious. Okay, so I would say that at this stage it would be best for me to take on the Shaded Woods using the Fragrant Branch of Yore that I have acquired from having killed the Lost Sinner. I don't actually know how many... Wait, how many have I got? Oh, 4. Okay, cool. We're just going to take ourselves to 10 life gems. That will do me. And, yeah. There is a fellow up here who is wielding something of a fake Moonlight Greatsword. It can be acquired by the player. I don't know if it can be acquired except through killing this NPC up here. But it is actually a fake... Oh, what am I doing? Fuck. Where is it? Oh, it's the last one. God. Unbelievable. I didn't think it was the last one. Anyway, so you can actually acquire this sword by killing this guy. I don't know if you can get it in any other way, but... It is the same design as the original Moonlight Greatsword from, well, I shouldn't say the original Moonlight Greatsword. The Moonlight Greatsword has been appearing in From Software RPGs since before the Souls series, but my point is that, you know, it looks a lot more like the Large Sword of Moonlight and the Moonlight Greatsword from Demon's Souls and Dark Souls than it does the actual Moonlight Greatsword of this game, or the one that is treated as the official Moonlight Greatsword. It doesn't really have much of a magic scaling, as I recall. It's more of a raw greatsword. That's why it's... I suppose what's going on with it is that it makes people think, ooh, I'm going to take that greatsword, but it's not actually very good, if I remember correctly. Maybe it can still be made viable, depending on your build, but... I don't know. I can break that, can't I? Don't know if it's helpful to break it. Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm doing this is because once I do a certain thing, I'm actually going to effectively activate and make aggressive all of the enemies in this room. I would rather kill them now, when they are being fairly docile and passive, than fight them along with all the other enemies. Alright, let's examine with a fragrant branch of yore. Well, not just examine, but then, after having examined, make use of it. Oh, I really don't want to talk to you. I'll deal with her later. She is good if you are actually doing pyromancy in your build. I'm not doing pyromancy in my build, so I'm not especially interested. If you can believe it, I'd be dealing with 2 extra enemies if I hadn't already killed those other ones, so... Can you fuck off, please? This is just... I almost can't believe how poorly I'm dealing with this. As you can see, enemies are very fucking aggressive in this game. They chase you down. Absolutely chase you down. I was not keeping track of how much damage I was losing from poison, so that did end up killing me. It is what it is. We'll try that again. It was mainly stamina that got me killed there. Not just in the sense that I was running away and ran out of stamina. That was not what killed me. It was the fact that in combat I wasn't really able to swing my weapon enough times to actually achieve much. If you kill the enemies fast enough, you'll survive. But I was not surviving at all there. Because I was not swinging my weapon enough, due to not having enough stamina to do so. I would have died at any rate, due to the poison, as far as the running away was concerned. Hello, lady. But yeah, if you are a pyromancer, feel free to clothe her. She actually wants a bit of charity. She wants some clothes. You can give her some armor that you don't need. And then she will return to Medulla, become a vendor, and yeah. I'm just getting... If you're wondering why I'm not targeting, which would be a fair question, you know, why are you not targeting Doomlink? Well, the reason why is because I just don't like the inaccuracy of Ultra Greatswords in this game. They piss me off. They really piss me off. I did press the button to actually use a fucking Estus Flask, so I'm pretty displeased that that didn't go out at all. I should actually be targeting. It is helpful. It's helpful to target, even though accuracy is lower in this game than in any other game when it comes to targeting enemies. It's still better to target than not, at least in this situation, so... Anyway, there is actually a bonfire in here. It's a fairly unlikely location for a bonfire. Yeah, that room is a bit of a clusterfuck. I chose to just deal with them all at the same time that second time around because I was not feeling patient enough to deal with those 2 docile enemies first and then pull the lever. I was not in the mood. Are you for real? How the fuck was that out of range? Okay. That basilisk actually interrupted my attack quite expertly. What are you doing? Just stop. Give it a rest. Oh, apparently, and that's totally fair, I'm still down pressing the fucking circle button to try and evade, but I'm stuck in an animation where I'm on the ground, and you can actually hit me without any sort of invulnerability for me. That's totally fair. Fuck this game, man. Little things like that are just so not okay. Apparently these basilisks can actually drop multiple types of stones, so we've already picked up a Fire Drake stone. We just got a Dark Knight stone. To be honest, these are what you need to infuse element into your weapons, so I'd really like to get a fucking lightning one. Anyway, it's something to consider. Maybe I'll try to grind him for a possible lightning stone. But it is obviously possible that he only drops a certain type of stone. Like, he may only drop fire and dark, who knows. I'm obviously dealing with the aggressive one first. I didn't fucking press anything on my analog stick. Like, my analog stick... This is unfucking believable. There are no words. There was no input on my left analog stick. I was standing still, pressed the attack button, and my character is moving to the right to swing his fucking weapon. Why? Garbage like that is getting me killed. I don't know if I can blame the controller or the game at that point, but that is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I want stones from you, Basilisk. I want them now. I'm really frustrated after that. Anyway, let's top up our lager. Our smoky German lager. Yeah. Smoky lager. If you want to know what it tastes like smoky lager. But, you know, I guess a more flavoursome and nice lager, but with a touch of smokiness to it. I don't know. I struggled to describe it. It is a lager, I can tell, but... Yeah, it's alright. I feel confident now to just say that I don't like lager, because even though this is a pretty good lager as far as lagers go, I don't like it that much. So I think lager can just fuck off. Like, why? Just have a nice ale. Like, why do you need lager? Just get a tasteful blonde ale. You know? I don't know what's being thrown at me. I don't know if that's... I think those are rocks. Yeah, he's throwing rocks at me. Get a life. Even though you seem pretty close to creating one yourself, you seem heavily pregnant. You could be giving birth at any moment. Anyway. We've got a Pharos Lockstone. That's always nice. Look at him go. God, I wouldn't be giving up my seat for you on the bus. You're perfectly mobile. I've never seen a pregnant creature move at that kind of speed. Oh my god, that'd be right. A fucking rock interrupting my movements. And then causing me to basically get beaten down by these enemies. I didn't get beaten down in the end, but there was certainly a risk of it. Alright. Hello. I don't know why I have to deal with so many of you guys. Are we here yet? I think we're here, yes. Thank God for that. Alright, this is the proper Shaded Woods bonfire. You've got 3 different directions you can go in. There are only 2 that we can continue in now. Oh no, maybe just 1. Yeah, just 1. We can't access 2 of the other ones. One of them is... It takes us to a King's Door, which we can't reach for quite some time. We'll need to kill King Vendrick for that. And then the other one requires all primal bonfires to be lit in order for us to get there. So, or get past the door. So, yeah. I'll have to remember which direction we want to go in to actually progress. There's only one direction that we can go in. It's this one, straight ahead. Alright, let's go and speak with Vengal, I believe his name is. He's a headless knight of sorts. Maybe not a knight. I don't really know how I'd refer to him. I'm about to get attacked. There are hidden creatures in this mist. You can vaguely see their outlines if you look carefully enough, but they cannot be targeted. And they are problematic. Okay, well I did say that I was going to be taking on Vengal. Well, not taking him on, but, you know, saying hello to him, but it turns out I'm going straight to the fucking Shaded Woods bonfire. I almost never take that route to actually get here. But fine, let's, I will actually go back and find Vengal if I can. But anyway. That's actually pretty funny that I got here that easily. I do usually take a different route. I know how to get here consistently, but not going that way. I was able to tell that I was going to end up here based on how much I was ascending. But, yeah. Okay, if I'm here, then Vengal must be over here. Or something. Right? Well, keep away from that shit. I'd rather not get lost in here. If I had to outline my preference. Oh no, I understand. I am actually misplaced. I am misplaced. You can actually get backstabbed, by the way, because if you're being tailed by enemies, they will actually backstab you if you stop, or if they catch up with you. Okay, so from here, we're going to actually... Oh, look at that. That's an opportunity for us to see the enemy fairly clearly. How weird is that? The reason why that has happened is because we're no longer under the effects of the mist, the fog. But once we're in there, they blend in very well. Just look for the movement. You can see them over there. See the white silhouettes. He's doing a fucking good job of hitting me before I can hit him. Come on. Get over here. Where are you, motherfucker? Oh, you're so annoying. He's actually specifically designed to be an absolute fucking irritant. Alright. So you really need to hug the fucking side, otherwise you're not going to make it in here. That was my mistake. I didn't hug the left side enough to actually get to Vengal. Alright, so just keep talking to him, and he will become a vendor. Hello, potato. Oh, there's a corner of my green screen showing in the frame, thank you. I will try to fix that. Oh, thank you. This is something that I usually don't get to fix while live, because people never draw attention to it. But yeah. Thanks to a vigilant member of the audience, your new uncle, his name is, I was able to fix it. Thanks for the resub, Potato. And I should have also thanked Ethan for his resub. I did not do that. He blew me a kiss and subscribed for his 16th month. Potato has now subscribed for his 12th month. Thank you. That is 1 year of subscription. Thank you. Yeah, this NPC is funny in the sense that he can actually feel his body moving around doing weird things. He's just a head sitting in the rocks. Funnily enough, there's actually the head of another statue just next to him. I apologize for skipping through all this, but yeah. Quite appropriately, you can learn the decapitate gesture from the head of Vengal. He's literally just a head. His body is actually an enemy that we will encounter later on in the game. But for now, he's just a head. He has no control over his body. Yes, retire to your silence. And I will use Homewood, because I can. There are other things that you can actually get in this misty area. I think one example is a Chloranthy ring. But I don't really feel the need to get it right now. I'm actually very happy with my rings that I've got at the moment. So, what I'm going to do at this stage... Okay, so to get to Weaponsmith Ornifex, I do actually need another Fragrant Branch of Yore. I do not know where to get one, but hopefully I'll find one. Because I just remembered it. I remembered the enemy here that gives the key to Weaponsmith Ornifex, but then I was reminded of the fact that I needed a Fragrant Branch of Yore to get that enemy to be attackable. He drops the key to Weaponsmith Ornifex's location. I'm sure I can just have a look at the Fragrant Branch of Yore locations in the game and find one, but anyway. I'm happy to give brief thoughts on Elden Ring, if you didn't hear them. It has been a while since I've discussed Elden Ring. I don't mind Elden Ring. I think it's okay. It's not quite what I wanted. If we were to compare Elden Ring to Breath of the Wild, in the sense that these game series didn't start off as open world, but are themselves quite similar in how they approached open world, Elden Ring obviously taking a few points of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, I would say that I do prefer Elden Ring, only because of, like, in context with its series, I feel like Elden Ring did a better job than Breath of the Wild did for its series. Maybe you could argue that as individual games, without taking this series into consideration, Breath of the Wild is better, but... And I almost feel that that might be true, and something that I, at the very least, wouldn't seek to disagree with. I'd probably be sitting on the fence if someone put forward that opinion, but... Elden Ring, for me, and I don't know if this speaks to the game itself, or to how I've changed as a gamer, or to my personal circumstances in life, but it did not keep my attention. I will return to it, and I do get enjoyment out of playing it, but I never had that sense, that ravenous desire to just keep building characters and just really focus on playing that game to a point where I had learnt almost everything there was to learn. Admittedly, you know what, I do think it's probably just a natural progression downwards, because I have, of all the Souls games that I've played, Dark Souls 3 is the one that I've played the least. So, yeah. It has actually been a downward trend as far as the amount of time that I've invested into the games, and that hasn't necessarily reflected quality level. You know, I've played more Dark Souls 2 than I've played Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 2 is far superior, so, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably more to do with me. There are a lot of specific things that I could talk about when it comes to Elden Ring, but yeah, the Souls formula and Souls games in general are better in my opinion. I prefer to have this formula within a carefully crafted world that's not open. I don't think open world really helps. I don't think it's better at the very least. I think it's interesting that they tried it, and I don't discourage them from trying that again in the future. I wouldn't discourage them from improving upon what they've already done, in other words. But let me put it this way. The game was good, but not stellar. It was not just this pinnacle of video gaming. It was just a good game, you know. It didn't offend my sensibilities in any way. It didn't feel like it detracted from the spirit of Souls. It just... yeah, it wasn't the same. I can respect it. I don't strongly dislike it, but it didn't have the magic of Demon Souls and Dark Souls. And also, to be honest, Dark Souls 3. But it was very similar to Dark Souls 3 in many ways. It was literally built from Dark Souls 3. Could have just as easily been Dark Souls 4. It was as if they just took the same skeleton of Dark Souls 3 and then just made a fucking open world Souls game out of that. Very similar. The animations, the GUI, like everything was very Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, so yeah. I'm not particularly interested in what they're doing with Armored Core. I haven't played the older Armored Core games yet. I knew about them in the past, but didn't really care. So, yeah, I wouldn't play the new Armored Core until I had experienced those older games. Just because I want to be able to make an educated evaluation of the newest Armored Core. I'm not just going to play it and then take it at face value. I want to know if it's actually an improvement or not. These enemies here are very annoying to deal with, I'll just say, because there's a certain range to their attack, like they have a little lunge that's difficult to deal with. I'd rather coax them into an attack and then get out of there. So that's the situation. If I swing at them, I'm just going to get stuck. I need to coax them into an attack, evade that attack, and then hit them. as they're recovering from their attack. It can't be the other way around, because I'm just going to get hit, inevitably. So, I got cursed a few times as well. At least once or twice. So, I need to try and improve on that. What's going on? Let's roll into this. That's the first thing we're going to fucking do. Then we're going to get our souls back. There's only 8,962 of them, but still. You can see that there is a more sensible strategy in what I'm doing now. That is basically waiting for them to do their attacks, and then I take the opportunity that they present to me after they've begun their swing and I've evaded it. There's no point fucking giving them that exact opportunity. That was bad. That's gonna fucking... I'm surprised that didn't kill me. It just, yeah, all it did was reduce my maximum health. Didn't actually hurt in any way. Which is good. It's a bit of a waste of human effigies, but... yeah, dealing with multiple lion, beast, creatures is no fun at all. Can you please just do an attack so I can fucking hit you back? I really hate these enemies. I hate them. They're pissing me off. Use lightning spear. Well, you tell me if that's going to work. Come on. That didn't even flinch him very much. I was hoping that would at least flinch him in some way. So I can't do that attack because that's going to make me too vulnerable. You can see I'm getting counter-attack damage as well when I actually wait for him to do an attack and then hit him quickly enough. Anyway. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, these lions worshipping the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3 is interesting lore. I didn't know that. Does make sense. What's interesting about it is that I never noticed it. I never noticed that their headdresses or their appearance was similar to the Nameless King, but yeah. I can see it, and it's very good. It's good to add a little bit of detail to the game like that. Bugger off. I'm going to get cursed again if I'm not careful. Where's this other pot? I'm going to slowly allow this to decrease the build-up, that is to say. And then I'm going to deal with the other cursed pot. Okay. There it is. And I think there's another one too. Or perhaps not. Alright, there's a crystal lizard over here, if I remember correctly. I'm going to try and locate it. Where is it? There it is. It can't escape, you see. At least, not in a linear direction. Not through here, is what I mean to say. It can actually disappear on me, but... anyway, so I got bolt stone, is that right? Did I get it? I got bolt stone. Brilliant. So once I actually get another fragrant branch of yore, which I hope is soon, I will actually be able to go and get the Lost Sinner's Sword and imbue it with lightning damage. I'm looking forward to that. What I'm going to do first, however, is kill this fucking scorpion thing and get my second dragon ring. Because I like the second dragon ring. Maybe it's the first dragon ring, actually. It may be the first dragon ring, which is fair. Alright. So, he has a lot of health, but he's not hugely difficult. As you can see, he lets you get a few free hits off first. Alright, now get the hell out of there. I'll do a ranged attack to start with. What's he doing? Does he just totally disengage if you're too far away? I suppose so. I'd like to do a drop... what are you doing, man? Do a drop attack on him. That's very good. I don't know how much damage that dealt. No, it didn't look like a lot, but... I'm assuming drop attacks would be the best way to deal with him. What was that? 214? Not amazing. Definitely better than the 141 that I'm getting, and the 126 that I'm getting now, but... yeah, I suppose there's two ways to look at it. Not only is it dealing more damage, but it's also an opportunity for me to be outside of his attack range whilst also dealing more damage. So, he doesn't talk, as you can tell. It is the second dragon ring. Where do you get the first dragon ring? There is a first one. Anyway, we are going to replace the Ring of Steel protection with this thing, because, quite frankly, these effects are better. I do still want the Stone Ring, Ring of Blades, and Silver... Well, no, okay, let's actually replace the Silver Serpent Ring. There's no reason for the Silver Serpent Ring to remain there. While it is nice to have a few extra souls, I'd rather just replace that. That's a luxury. At this stage, I'd prefer to have more defense. That is more functionally helpful to the build, in my opinion. Yes, I was getting the ring. I don't know if that would be considered a friendly NPC. I don't think he really talks, but yeah, he's not actually going to harm you. You can step up to him and he'll be fine. That's why I was able to get a few attacks off before he attacked me. Apparently he helps in a boss fight, but I don't really care. The second dragon ring's very helpful. It's essentially a ring of favor and protection that you keep. You can unequip it and re-equip it as much as you want. It breaks very easily. It's only got 0.8 durability, which is noticeably less. No, that's weight, idiot. It's 25 durability as opposed to 100 durability that you can see on these rings. So, yeah, it does break very easily. So, that would be the one downside to it. But at least it can be unequipped. Unlike the Ring of Favor and Protection. It helps you beat up his wife, yes. Oh, it's the fucking Super Saiyajin. Look out. What's happening, man? Do your attack and then I'll do mine. Do you have anything for me? No, he didn't give me anything. He maybe gave me some souls, but I didn't keep track of how many. Whatever. I don't know if the golden lions are really that helpful. Anyway, I'm hoping that there will be a fragrant branch of yore in this general area. I do want access to weaponsmith artifacts. I will actually consult a wiki to see where I can find them if I don't happen upon one between now and the boss fight. Once I've killed the boss, I will double check that. The sooner I get the Lost Sinner's Sword, the better. Because I'll be able to, well, that's one thing that I haven't done. I do have access to the Iron Keep, but I didn't end up getting the Dull Ember. So what I'll do is I'll get the Lost Sinner's Sword, get the Dull Ember from the Iron Keep, and then I will indeed make that weapon, which will be specifically helpful in conjunction, well, specifically effective in conjunction with increased strength and faith. Once it is imbued with lightning. So what I'm going to do is return to the bonfire, recover my Estus flasks, then take on the boss. Again, I'm not too sure what I'm doing with the Covenant of Sunlight. I haven't looked into whether or not it's even worth investing in the Covenant of Sunlight. Hello. He actually, how did he manage to break that? Whoops. I completely forgot that I'd rested at a bonfire and these guys have now respawned. Okay. I'm going to bring them over here and then deal with them slowly. It's a co-op covenant. Well, that's not new information, Potato, but what I mean is that it may be worth upgrading. If I know anything about the first Dark Souls game, I'm just going to assume that you can actually acquire sunlight medals, which I'm assuming are still required in the Covenant of this game, without actually needing to go online. The idea being that you can still interact with the Covenant if you happen to not play online, or if you don't have internet, or whatever the hell. So, yeah, that's the idea. I was really trying to hit that other guy. That wasn't good. Go! Fuck me. But yeah. The reason why I'm it's not like I don't get the co-op part. I do understand that. I'm very familiar with the original Sunlight Covenant from Dark Souls, but my point is that I'm doing a faith build, as you can see in the title of the live stream, and, you know, it might be helpful to actually rank it up. But I actually don't know what the rank up rewards are. Maybe I can expect a Sunlight Spear. Maybe there are other things as well, I really don't know. Can you fucking at least attempt to be on target? For fuck's sake. I would have actually started screaming if I had died. You know what I'm going to have to do, and I have no real choice in the matter. I will have to just run through these enemies to get to the boss, otherwise I'm not going to fucking have the healing wares to deal with the boss in question. This is the way things have to be done. Also, I have 13,583 souls at this stage, which I would rather not have stuck in a boss room, so I will use them to level up. Ugh, goodness. That reaction is to the heat of my room right now. It's very hot. What the fuck are you talking about? You miserable cunt. Look at this guy in the chat. You got ads now, moving on. Disgruntled face. Fuck off, arsehole. You probably got a... like, in the first instance, you have never actually contributed to the chat. Second of all, you probably got a... what do you call it? A gift sub, which prevented you from getting ads. Quite frankly, mate, you can deal with it. You either deal with the ads, or you subscribe for a very small fee, or you watch my VODs. Like, seriously, you can watch the VODs, no ads, if you have ad blocker. In fact, if you have ad blocker on Twitch, you probably... What is going on? What? I don't really know what's going on. Anyway, the point is that you say you got ads now. This is nothing new. This is why I'm talking about the gift sum. I've been affiliated on Twitch for at least 2 years, probably 3, but anyway. Apparently I do get some weird viewers sometimes. He's acting as if he's familiar with when I have or haven't been affiliated, but I've never seen him comment before, and quite frankly, if he were to disappear, it would not mean anything, because again, he does not actually contribute in any way, shape or form in the chat, so I really don't care. But, yeah. I'm assuming ad blocker works on Twitch anyway, so just fucking use that and grow up. Now, let's double check to see if I can actually... No. So I can probably consume this fading soul. 50 souls, which is really nothing of anything. We're obviously not consuming the soul of the lost sinner, because we are keeping that. Let's upgrade with what we've got. You know what? Taking ourselves down to 40,000 souls is okay. I'm alright with that. I don't know if I would say that Majula is the best hub zone, but it is definitely a good hub zone. I do have a degree of affection for it, and it's, like I've said before, the actual music that plays in Majula has a nostalgia factor that activates in your mind even if you don't have nostalgia associated with this game. So I found that out with a friend of mine who played this game for the first time, and he was like, to be honest, this place feels and sounds nostalgic even though I've never seen it before. So what that says to me is that it's very well designed, very peaceful in a good way, and they've done a good job with it for sure. I don't know if I would go so far as to say it's the best hub location, but it's very good. I'll give you that at least. Let's increase our faith. I'm happy to do that. I hope I haven't been leaving whatever it's called, attunement behind. Is Dark Souls good? Never played it. It's not for everyone. Some people might find it annoying. If you like role-playing games with meaning, games that actually require you to learn how to play them before you can start enjoying yourself, this is a series that you will probably enjoy. People who want to enjoy themselves before they've actually worked out how to play the game are probably going to be turned off from the game before they have a chance to enjoy it. It's just what it is. The Soul series is not crushingly difficult. It's just crushingly difficult if you're A, impatient, and B, unwilling to learn its conventions. You have to actually put some effort into learning how it works. Once you do that, and you do that in conjunction with displaying some degree of patience, you will be able to enjoy the game. It'll be very rewarding. It's a meaningful experience to go through the game, like each iteration, and build characters within those games, and it'll probably be one of your better RPG experiences. Let's go and take on that weird scorpion boss thing. Stop! I don't want to talk to you right now. We are going to the Shaded Woods, which is over here. We want to go to the Shaded Ruins, which is what this section is referred to as. Oh, God, it's so hot. It's unpleasant. Truly unpleasant. Like I said, I'm going to run straight to the boss because otherwise I'm just not going to have enough healing wares for the boss. I seem to recall this boss being a little difficult if you don't have ranged capabilities. I don't really have ranged capabilities. While I do have 3 lightning spears, they're not very damaging, so I'm not expecting much. As far as, you know, dealing ranged damage is concerned. Seeing that Iron Keep image gives me PTSD. Really? Why? The Iron Keep is fine. Like I said, patience gets you quite a long way in the Soul series, and the Iron Keep just requires a bit of patience. Alright, let's get a few hits out. Come on. Or that. That's going to be a problem. When she comes up... Alright. You can see we're not dealing much damage to her. We can actually one-hand this weapon now, which is interesting, but I'm going to keep two-handing because right now I do want more damage. This is not great. I don't want to be soloing her. What are you up to? Come on. That's alright. Just a bit of damage. Whoops. She stuck her long-ranged scepter thing into me, which I didn't very much enjoy. See, I don't want to... Yeah, I didn't want to go in there and attack... Oh my fucking god. I just need to wait until she does that double tail stab, and then just use that as my opportunity to hit her. Because otherwise I'm just going to get hit by whatever else she's doing. Okay, so this is a part of the confrontation where she is trying to attack us from under the ground. But she can't do that if we're standing here. It's just how it is. So stand on that rocky platform that's buried in the ground, and she won't actually be able to do anything to you. At least while she's under the ground, yes. I'd like to get in there and hit you for doing that, but... Oh, here we go. She's gearing up that attack, which hurts, as you can clearly see. You really just have to take your time with this boss. Don't get too excited. Alright, do your tail attacks. Wait for the right opportunity, is what I would recommend. See, what's the point? If I do that, she's going to hit me with her tail, probably. She didn't. I'm glad that she didn't. Alright, I'll get a hit out, and then just create some distance. I think you can cut her tail. Like both of them. I haven't done it recently, but it may actually give you a whip. I think it gives you a whip, isn't that right? I'm probably remembering that wrong. That really hurts, don't get fucking hit by that. My recommendation would be to be very fucking careful. What are you doing? She doesn't even know, she's confused. I've never seen someone so overcome with the options available to her. She just ended up running in a circle because she didn't know what option to take. Should I go over here or should I go over there? Should I go over here? I'm gonna go over here. No, never mind, that's a stupid idea. I mean, what's her problem? Indecisive female. There could be lore connecting this Scorpioness to Quayla. It's entirely possible. Amazing chest ahead. Yeah, where was our amazing chest fucking cutscene? That's the question. Oh god, that deals a lot of damage. You can see that we're doing a reasonable job with her, except for this part of the fight, where I'm taking damage, stupidly. I didn't mean to do that, I meant to use another fucking life gem. Yeah, do that. Very good. I don't have much room for error at this point, as you can tell. It's very bad news. Alright, come on. Yeah. I hate you. I'm sure I've made this clear already, but I fucking really don't like you. Scorpioness Najka. I'm calling her Najka, okay? If she doesn't like the name, she can fucking get a real name instead. That's barely any damage at all. Of course, the first one hit her tail, which is resistant, but... oh, whatever. Let's do our best to succeed. We've got one life gem. Come on, get over here. It's an opportunity to hit her when she comes up. Shall I beat on her to death? Yeah, okay, well that works. She is dead, victory has been achieved, and she actually gave us 25,000 souls, which isn't too bad. I don't know if we want the Scorpioness soul for anything in particular, but for the moment, I'm going to just head to this next bonfire and then check to see if I can... oh, stop it with the fucking controller! Ugh! It's causing fucking performance issues when it's disconnecting as well. Anyway, yeah, just give it a rest, to be honest. So once we get to the bonfire that we want to reach in the Doors of Pharos, we will check to see if a fragrant branch of yore can be acquired at this stage, and I'm sure that there's at least one that we can get. And then we will get our hands on the Lost Sinner's Sword. I'm going to sit down at this bonfire. Now I'm going to check to see where I might be able to acquire a fragrant branch of yore. Dark Souls 2 fragrant branch of yore. Locations? That isn't even a frequently searched question. It goes fragrant branch of yore, best use, fragrant branch of yore, No Man's Wharf, fragrant branch of yore, Forest of Fallen Giants, Black Gulch, fragrant branch of yore, Jump, and then just Dark Souls 2 no fragrant branch of yore. No one's actually thought to fucking check for the locations of all of them. Unbelievable. That's your average Dark Souls 2 player right there. This is pathetic. Well, I'm sure some people have considered doing that, but it's not even in the list of frequently searched questions relating to the fragrant branch of yore in Google. Fuck me. Okay. So we want the original game, please, not Scholar of the First Sin. Regular version. Okay. Harvest Valley. There are two located in Harvest Valley. Okay, so we got that first one that's mentioned. After progressing past the mine's bonfire, you'll see a room full of poison fog-filled pits. and an item on a ledge. Enter the tunnel nearest to this ledge, be ready to fight or run as you make an immediate right in the quarry area with 4 sickle-wielding enemies. You'll see several boarded up tunnels. One you want, or the one you want is second from the right. Oh god, that's unclear. So there are 2 in the Shaded Woods. Talk to Man-Scorpion Tark with the Ring of Whispers equipped. Okay, well I can't get that because he's dead. Shaded Woods 1 in a chest containing the Lion Mage set. What? That's real cute. To get that, we need to use a branch. So, no. The only other one that we can get is in Harvest Valley. I'll be back momentarily. I need to go and take a visit to the little boy's room. Uno momento. Yes, I do think that was just for Scholar of the First Sin Potato, because I did check Millennium, who obviously is the vendor that you refer to from the Forest of Fallen Giants, and she does not have a fragrant branch of yore to sell me. So I'm going to assume, and I was remembering the same thing, so I'm assuming that's just from Scholar of the First Sin. Alright, so let me actually properly check to see what's going on. We definitely acquired one fragrant branch of yore from Harvest Valley. I remember that very clearly. The second one we have not actually acquired. It's past the Mines Bonfire. Let's start off by working out where that is. The Mines, okay. So from there, we go... You'll see a room full of poison fog-filled pits, okay. On a ledge. Enter the tunnel nearest to this ledge. Well, I do know of some underground poison pits and tunnels and such, but... Do they mean this one, or what? Gotta love going by description. I like to keep it old school. I don't use fucking video tutorials. What are you talking about? Enter the tunnel nearest to the... Hold on. After progressing past the Mines Bonfire, you'll see a room full of poison-fog-filled pits and an item on a ledge. Enter the tunnel nearest to this ledge. Are they talking about... They're talking about this fucking area here? What's on a ledge? There's no fucking ledge, mate. That's probably what they mean, though. Let's go and kill this green individual first. Alone. How the Okay. It was good of him to step back and just give me the... I'm officially done. I'm officially done. I'm pissed off, and I'm very annoyed. You are so fucking dead, asshole. That's it. I've been trained in Kingdoms of Amalur to just spam the attack button and win. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Okay, so we've got multiple tunnels in here. What fucking ledge are they talking about? This is Vextra Life, but you know what? Fuck it. That's it. I'm not doing Vextra Life anymore. I'm going to check wiki.wiki. Here we go. Whatever description they give is going to be more comprehensive and actually designed for human beings to make sense of. Okay, availability. Harvest Valley. First area after the mine's bonfire on a ledge. Break the wood to the hall on the left. Then make an immediate right into the area with the artificial undead ambush. Okay, first area after the mine's bonfire on a ledge. Break the wood to the hall on the left. What is artificial undead? I see. Alright. That's it there. That is the ledge. Okay. So, very good. So it's over here. We need to break into something. It's not that up ahead, it's something else. I think it's this. Yeah, so we acquire it. Okay, so we do have to deal with an ambush here. And I think we can get to that ledge by dealing with that. So, yeah, get the fuck over here, man. Get over here. I'll deal with you one at a time. Oh, I see. Once I've gone past there, that's it. Get out of my fucking way, asshole. He's gonna kill me here because I'm literally unable to continue. Ugh! Good God. Okay, so the ambush involves how many of them? A lot of them. That's the answer. Okay. Can I get into here? Yes, but that's not what I want. Skeptic Spice, that's not helpful at all. You need to get a life, man. I've got a little train of them here. Fucking hell. This is ridiculous. Look at them all. He's got a good lunge, doesn't he? It seems to work very well when it comes to hitting me. Yeah, hello. I hate all of you. I really, really, really fucking hate all of you. What is the point of this area, and how the fuck is this going to allow me to get to that ledge that I just saw with the corpse on it? I'm so frustrated. None of that is very good. Just do your attack. Do your fucking attack. Hurry up. Asshole. Get mashed to death, you bastard. What a fun part of the game. Yeah, do your attack. Go. Do it. And then he recovers because he fell. Kill him. Kill him. Does it? Like at this stage? Don't you motherfucker! I've got 30,000 souls stuck in this fucking ambush location. Okay. It's not the end of the world because I do have the homeward miracle. That is true. Okay. We'll go back in there, and we will get 30,000 souls back. Okay? That's going to be the first thing. I'm going to try and see from here how the fuck we get to that ledge. Apparently, it must be in there. It must be in there. Unless we don't go in there and we instead go over here. I mean, I don't think so. No, we don't. Hopefully, pissing you off hasn't caused issues. What I'm really frustrated by is that I now have to fucking deal with these guys again, you know. The ones that I did successfully kill have now respawned, so... Great. Fuck me. Stop with your lunging. I don't like your lunging. Get a life. Can I go in here and get to that ledge. Yeah, I can. Okay, I don't actually... I never had to engage them in combat. Good. It pleases me to fucking see that. I'm happy to deal with them if they want to follow me down here. I don't mind. Yeah, it is another clusterfuck, but it turns out that I don't have to actually subject myself to it. I can just be smart and just exit without engaging them at all. Which is good to actually see. Alright, we've been live for about an hour and a half. I don't know how long I'm going to be live for. I'm going to say probably an hour and... Oh, well, excuse me, 2 hours, probably. Most likely. Alright. We have that fragrant branch of yore. Let us now put that to use once we have made use of some of these souls. I do want to have enough left to be able to actually upgrade that weapon we're going to make. So we're going to level up twice, keeping in mind that we do actually have the 20-something or so thousand souls from that boss we killed before still on hand. So I'm going to increase our faith a bit more, just by 2 points. We've still got 11,550 souls to work with. And using those souls, we should be able to acquire this weapon that I've been talking about. Let's not do that, actually. Let's instead acquire the dull ember first, which can be done. Goodbye, potato. Thank you for hanging around. So yes, we're going to get the dull ember. It's not too difficult to get. We do actually have the option of being one-handed at this point. And we can still fast roll. That's reassuring. Let's change our strategy a little bit. No more two-handing. Okay, I'm getting fucking pummeled, as you can tell. Yes, I understand how you guys work. Your attacks go out very fucking quickly. Talk about being outsmarted. I'm used to him doing the overhead like that. And so I roll away and then he just fucking stabs me. Okay. I will readily admit that I was outsmarted in that moment. That's fine. Let's try that again. What a prick. I'm going to try and coax one of them. I don't want to deal with more than one at a time. That's no fair. It's actually pretty good damage. I wasn't expecting these guys to have such low resistance to lightning damage, but they do. Which actually bodes well for the weapon that we're about to make. Alright. So despite being an ultra greatsword, even one-handed, this weapon has a vertical slash going into a horizontal, which is kind of weird. Don't know if I like that, but it is what it is. I'm used to just having to change from two-handed to one-handed in order to have my chime equipped, so it is confusing me a little bit. Alright, get over here. There we go. This is going to be good for our money as well, by the way. And when I say money, I mean souls, clearly. Clearly. That should not confuse anyone. If it does, then I'm sort of sorry, but not really. Like, to be honest, remain confused. Alright. Very good. Don't... Well, sometimes it's not a good thing to be rushing in some direction without actually knowing where the fuck you're going. It's all well and good to think you know where you're going, but if you don't, maybe don't fucking bother. How did you like that, man? Did that hurt? Get over here. Don't be afraid. Actually, I'll sort of understand if he's afraid. Alright, yep, I don't mind dealing with you first. It's perfectly alright. Oh dear. Yep, shoot your thing, and then I'll shoot this guy with my thing. Because you're just going to keep shooting me from a distance, and that's fine, but I'm not going to deal with you, Mr. Archer, and this guy at the same time. It's not happening. Ended up, eventually, like, it worked out that way anyway. Just for a little update, hello again. You're saying hello, but you've been here the whole time, so hi. Anyway, for a little update on my amount of souls, I have 17,000 now. I started at 11,000, so we are accumulating souls fairly effectively. I don't like you at all. I really don't fucking like you. Especially when that fucking shit happens. Yeah, hurry up and heal yourself. For God's sake. What are you doing? I'm not sure what you think you're playing at, but it's not helpful for you or for me. Don't you dare knock me off the fucking edge. Unbelievable. Alright, let's coax this fellow over. We do have a lot of enemies to contend with before we reach the dull ember. That needs to be made very clear. It's not a quick and easy process. You're pretty much at the point where you're ready to engage the boss when you get the dull ember, but I'm not going to do it this time around. I'm going to come back later. There are two reasons why. The first is that I do actually want that weapon that I'm trying to make using the dull ember before I fight this boss, and then second of all, I've got a lot of souls on hand, so I'd rather, you know, not have them on hand while I engage this boss. It's not nice to have a lot of souls stuck in the boss room, you know. Yeah, I don't care if you hit me. Prick. Let's see how we go with this jump. I'll do the best I can. That worked fairly well. If it looked rather unnatural, it's because I hit a wall, so my character decided not to roll. The reason why I'm coming up here is so that I can deal with that guy. It takes special talent to fuck up this hard. I literally had access to the fucking dull ember. It was right in front of me, and I ignored it. Let me rephrase that without tripping over my words. I had it right in front of me. It was accessible to me. I instead walked around it, went up the top, attacked an enemy I didn't actually need to attack, fell off, and now I have to go all the way back, do it all over a fucking again. All over a fucking again. Fucking unplug, you piece of shit, you fucking shit controller with your bloody mini USB port, which barely works. Barely works. It's a miracle of God that you even function, quite frankly. Mini USB, what a shit fucking charging standard. Mini USB. Fuck off. Get out of here. I don't... As long as I can get those souls back, it's okay, but... God. To literally be directly in front of that fucking thing, and then for some reason not going and picking it up. I think I just forgot where it was. Even though there was an item there, I just didn't recognize that as the item that I needed. And so, I don't know, walked past it, effectively. I would have worked out that that's what it was. In fact, I knew it before I had even fallen to my death that that was what I needed. But then I fell to my death. So now I'm doing this again. From the start. Wasting my time. And the only person that I really have to blame is myself. Which I suppose I'm somewhat content with, but I'm still not content with the result. And that is the fact that I have to do all of this again. That is fucking annoying. Really fucking annoying. This is not... Oh, I actually managed to kill him with that attack. That's a shocker. Get the fuck over here, man. Sometimes being real aggressive is helpful. This is one such example of how that can be helpful. Alright. I'm not going to heal just yet. Coaxing this prick out. Come on. Someone. I don't care who, just get the fuck over here, please. You saw how quickly I attacked him. He still managed to get his attack through and hit me. What a prick. I hate these enemies, I really do. Alright. Over here, buddy. He's dead, fortunately. Everybody liked that. Everybody was pleased to see that that fucking bastard was dead. I'm going to kill you, because you really would do everyone a favor if you just died. I love how he still managed to fucking hit me there. This is... Okay, two things. Again, the extraordinary inaccuracy of an Ultra Greatsword was just on perfect display there. Perfect display. Second of all, the ridiculous hitbox of that fucking attack. He does his thrust and then just the width and the sustained attack window of that fucking attack was... How long have I been recording? 1 hour and 41 minutes. What a good time to fucking stop. But I'm not stopping. I just lost, I think, 18,000 souls. Not including what I had on hand when I lost them. So I guess I can get those back at least. But could you please be on target, for fuck's sake? Please be on target. I don't ask for much. I just ask for, you know, Ultra Greatswords to not suck in the worst way possible. That's all I fucking want. But no, they do suck this fucking badly in this game. It is not helpful for you as a character to be able to swing your sword fully independently of a targeting system, and then also for it to be generally inaccurate. Generally inaccurate if you're not targeting. It's shit whether you're targeting or not. That's the point. Fuck. I hate having to lose my souls unnecessarily. It's stupid. I could have acquired that fucking dull ember long ago. Long ago it could have been in my hands. We could have been done with this a long time ago. And yet here I am, still doing the same shit that I was doing 20 minutes ago. Because, I don't know, I'm fucking stupid. I forgot where the dull ember was. I saw that there was a thing on the ground. It didn't immediately ring a bell. And so I just kept moving. And then I was like, oh yeah, it must be that other thing because there's nothing up here. And then meanwhile, I'm fucking falling to my death because I attacked an enemy I didn't need to kill. Stupid. Anyway. Well, this is the thing. Normally, you would target an enemy, and that is where your attack would go. You can retreat or reposition while targeting, and then you know that when you attack, that attack will go out in the direction that you're targeting the enemy. But in this game, if you're repositioning or retreating while targeting an enemy with an Ultra Greatsword, and I think Greatswords are the same, but particularly Ultra Greatswords and Great Hammers or whatever, you will literally attack in the direction that your character is moving with the analog stick on the left side of your controller. Which is so counterintuitive to everything that you accumulate in your mind and in your muscle memory as how to use a weapon in Dark Souls, that it will create endless problems. It will literally cause you to die because of how little it makes sense. Even now, I mean, I've been playing this game for a long time, it still causes problems. And even if I'm not targeting, the weapon is fucking inaccurate. Can you stop hitting the goddamn wall? It actually shocks me to know that not a single attack that I just swung actually connected with that enemy, despite the fact that he was at point blank range with me. Unbelievable. Breathtakingly fucking stupid is what that is. Hello. Fuck you. Get over here with your goddamn sword. Would love to hit your boyfriend as well. Hello. Gotta love how the attacks still come out before I can actually flinch them. Gotta love that. Every fucking time. Except for that moment there. Alright, how are you going? It's a good chance to heal. Alright. Let's keep going. Let's keep fucking going. I should mention that I'm generally more irritable when it feels like I'm sitting in a fucking sauna. It is so hot here. When you're already just dripping with sweat by sitting still in a fucking chair, dealing with this crap only adds to general levels of frustration. Oh, okay, now you're going to leash. You're now going to leash? These enemies usually pursue you until the ends of the fucking earth. What are you doing coming over here? Unbelievable. I'm serious when I say that these enemies usually pursue you until the ends of the earth, but when it is convenient for them to continue pursuing you, they just leave. What are you doing? Yeah, good for you. Go and fuck yourself. Words fucking fail. Let's go and bring this asshole over here. Come on, baby. Yeah, alright. I don't fucking care. Missed it by a hair's breadth. Let's get that fucking dull ember and get the fuck out of here. I'll get my souls back and then I'll just... Yeah, whatever. I'm not killing that enemy. I'm not doing it. Just getting my souls back. That's now 15,000, which isn't too bad. It isn't too bad. Dull ember, please. Get me the fuck out of this place. At least I finished all of that with a dull ember and 15,000 souls. That's not too bad. That's only a little worse than it was before. I think I lost maybe 18,000 souls, so I suppose I just had to endure a little bit of frustration, waste a little bit of time, and then almost end up in the same situation. In the end, that I could have ended up if I had done it right the first time. Not too bad. Could be worse. This Monster Hunter update looks amazing, says Fuggin Moistener. I do like your name. A lot of Twitch names are just fucking terrible, but yours is nice. Fuggin Moistener. Yes. Well, you definitely made me moist with your very creative joke. Sure, it took you all day to come up with that one. Wait. Is it actually written as Monster Hunter? Please don't tell me it's written as Monster Hunter. Just in case. I did initially assume that you watch me for Monster Hunter usually. And that's why you said that, but I'm just going to make sure that, okay, it is actually down as Dark Souls 2. Thank God for that. Would not have been happy if that was not down as Dark Souls 2. Okay. So, now that we've got the dull ember, let's take ourselves over to Macduff. Get this fucking cursor off my screen, please, for the love of God, before I absolutely spit chips. Where am I going? Here. Macduff's workshop. Get me there. Immediately. At once. At fucking once. You smell a flame upon me. I will give you the dull ember, marvelous ember, apparently. Okay, be gone, he says. Fuck you. Go and fuck yourself. You bastard. Alright, so... we need to go and rescue Weaponsmith Ornifex. We do indeed have a... whatever it's called. Fragrant branch of yore that we can use. If we go to the Shaded Woods... and rescue, free or unpetrify, I don't care what word you want to use to describe it, the lion creature over here, we can actually then kill him for a key. And that will give us access to Weaponsmith Ornifex. Because Weaponsmith Ornifex is actually locked in a building. Or in a room, whatever you want to say. Building, room, probably room. What are you doing? I don't know why I had the chime equipped. I have no explanation to give you for that one. No fucking explanation whatsoever. Hello. Glad I was out of your range for that. You can see the damage is very good when I counterattack. We've got the Fang Key. Fanks. I don't know, it's sort of funny. And I will now go and speak to that weird... It makes weird gulping crow noises. I can't make crow noises, okay? I used to be able to, and I'm not going to try and figure out how to do it while live here and make an absolute fucking mockery of myself. Ugh. Okay. No. I do need to make sure that I simultaneously avoid the petrification dust, or whatever you want to call it, and also attack the basilisks. It's definitely a process. Hello, feminine-looking creature. Thank you for helping me. Oh, that's right. I can't engage in your services here. I have to actually continue on from where I was. That's alright. What's not alright is that I don't have access to Homewood. I'll have to manually come through here. Alright. Now, we do have to actually find Weaponsmith Ornifex at her location. And we are getting close to that location. I think we have access to it now, pretty much. Don't we? Doors of Pharos. Okay, we've got 2 bonfires to go. This is a bit of a process, isn't it? It's all worth it in the end, and I'm going to do it on camera, I don't mind. We're going to do a bit of a longer recording than I was expecting. Sorry, I'm just checking messages and stuff. Let me now reopen the Twitch chat. 1 second. And then I'm going to get another drink of something. There we go. It's just that when, I've explained this before, but whenever I minimize Twitch, I have to actually close it and then reopen it. It's really fucked up. It pisses me off. Okay, so this is our current objective. We are going to head through the doors of Pharos, not in any sort of completionist sense, but rather just to pass through it, because it is an entirely optional location. We are then going to reach Brightstone Cove, Tseldora. We're going to do a few basic things there, then we're going to reach a bonfire. Well, there's going to be a bonfire in Brightstone Cove, and then we're going to move on from there and then find another bonfire, and then from there we're going to access Weaponsmith Ornifex and get the sword that we've been looking for. In my head, I had a false memory of actually engaging with Ornifex's services in the Shaded Woods. That is not the case. We only free her there. So, there you are. I'll be back momentarily with hard cider. Okay. Now, we do have hard cider on hand. The Doors of Pharos, as I recall, don't really have anything of worth contained within them. I guess referring to doors, plural, which is why I use the word them, contained within it, contained within them. We're referring to Doors of Pharos, not as a singular location, but rather as multiple doors, somehow relating to Pharos. Anyway, yeah, there really aren't many things to acquire there. Nothing that would really be all that helpful for a build, I don't think. But yeah, you can go through it if you want. But right now I do definitely have an objective, and that is to make that sword from Weaponsmith Ornifex. And that is going to be my primary objective, such that I will avoid the Doors of Pharos. It's totally normal to avoid the Doors of Pharos, but not necessarily avoid it, but rather just pass through it and not venture into it beyond what is absolutely required for passing through it. That's fairly typical. And that is what I'm going to be doing this time. Off we go. There is a mastodon over here, and we're going to avoid him because I'm not really interested in anything that he has to offer to our experience here. Don't know what you're doing, but you're going to die, okay? I'm glad that we're on the same page. Brilliant. This is the same species as Gavlan. I don't know if it's... I guess it's a Gurm, whatever a Gurm is. I don't know if they're a type of dwarf or what, but... yeah, I think Gavlan would take great issue with us killing his brethren, but... or his fellow man, or fellow Gurm, whatever. But quite frankly, they're aggressive. This guy's actually going to throw axes at us. Believe it or not, these axes are pretty good strength weapons. They're some of the best strength weapons in the game. I believe they have an S scaling fully upgraded. And despite having pretty poor range, they do hit very hard. Maybe they're called Gurm axes or something. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Whatever. Hello. What I'm trying to do is engage him here rather than on that fucking ledge. We got Gurm Warrior gloves. That's all going to be very heavy stuff, by the way. It's quite absurd to think that those midget creatures are going to drop armor that we can actually just equip normally, but that's always been the way Souls has been. We get armor from enemies that are just completely mismatched to us in terms of size, and yet we can fucking equip it as normal. It's just one of those things that you have to live with. It's a certain unrealistic aspect associated with video gaming. You just have to accept it. What I mean is that games are not always perfectly realistic, and you just have to accept that sometimes weird shit like that's going to happen. These guys have strong resistance to physical damage, I think. Maybe they are just very resistant generally, but I think it's physical damage in particular that they're resistant to. Actually, it might not be that. They seem to be taking perfectly reasonable damage, it's just that they have got a lot of health. Don't know why, but yeah. You can see that this is definitely a step up in difficulty, generally speaking. We've got enemies that are taking a lot of damage, and they are staying alive. What's happening? How about we make sure that we've addressed everything we want to address here before we continue into that place I was going to go. Hello. I would have preferred a bigger flinch than that from you, my friend. You are a humble farmer, from what I can tell. A very unhealthy, humble farmer, but a farmer nonetheless, and yet he managed to take a fucking strong attack head on. He did flinch at least, but it's not like he fell over or anything. Pick up some souls here. He was harvesting souls, I don't know. Not sure what the lore would tell us about what he was doing there. But he was obviously doing something relating to those souls. We got some lacerating arrows. I can assume based on that description that that will actually promote bleeding in the victim. Alright. I wanted to get it first try. Sometimes it takes me a while to get this, by the way. There might be an easy way to do it, I don't know. But I tend to do it the hard way, you know. Fuck off, man. How do I get this? Can I destroy it like that? No. Okay, how about I jump on it normally and then try to destroy it while standing on it? Will that work? There must be an easier way than what I've done in the past. Aha, so it's destroyed like that, and then once it's destroyed, it will be easy to get into the well. I just need a well-positioned jump. Not as well-positioned as what I was needing to do before, but there you are. That's a whole lot easier. Okay. I'm going this way because there are some good items to acquire as I come through here. So, I believe in Scholar of the First Sin, that is actually a mimic. It's not a mimic in this game. Just had to check to make sure. We got 5 human effigies. Very helpful. Very good to have. Not only are human effigies quite expensive to purchase, you can only purchase them in limited amounts. So it is helpful to actually have them there. And to be able to acquire 5 free of charge. Just in the game as you play it. I'll go and consume that right now. I don't know where I got that life gem. I must have acquired it outside of purchasing it, because, quite frankly, if it was unequipped, it means that I must have run out of what I had purchased before. He can go and kill himself on that, that's great. I don't know who he was trying to attack there, because I wasn't down there. I'm not sure what his objective was, but that's fine. Good day. It does pierce through them, but you can see the piercing damage of Lightning Spear is pretty bad. Whoa! Speaking of pretty fucking bad, that just was totally off target, and that was not my fault, that was the game. Just generally, combat is more sluggish in this game, and not just in terms of the meandering animations, it's also things like just having an accurate fucking attack, like just being able to hit an enemy smoothly and cleanly. Just, it makes a big difference to the experience, you know? Having slow and sluggish fucking character reactions to your input in the fucking game, coupled with having less control over where your character is going to attack. I guess technically more control, but in practice it ends up being less control because it's less predictable and harder to reposition, etc. Look, just overall, the experience with engaging enemies in combat in Dark Souls 2 is so much worse than the 2 games that came before it. So much worse. Which is pretty sad because, you know, this game was competing with a game that came 5 years before it, and it fucking lost, okay? I'm talking about Demon Souls in 2009 versus this game in 2014. This game was worse because Demon Souls had snappy, quick, straight-to-the-point animations. They were accurate, like the accuracy, speed, and clean delivery of animations when you're doing things on the controller essentially resulted in clean, enjoyable gameplay. This is not clean, enjoyable gameplay. This is muddy, murky, gross, pointless in many cases. It feels like there's just stuff going on that doesn't need to happen. Additional animations being added. So for example, you've got the additional animation for backstabs. Well, there are ways to make backstabbing more difficult than just adding an extra animation. What that does is it just adds a level of sluggishness to the combat. Being able to quickly and efficiently backstab an enemy promotes quick, clean combat, which is good. This isn't quick, clean combat as in, I'm going to run in there and beat an enemy to death. It actually is still very much a meaningful duel between yourself and the enemy that you're engaging with, in most cases. But in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, it's very quick and straight to the point, whereas here, it feels sluggish. It really does. It's awful. And I guess I'm truly at peace with it, in the sense that it doesn't deeply bother me anymore, but when I'm here playing the game, yeah, it pisses me off to see it. It pisses me off to have to deal with it. But anyway, that's one of my major complaints with this game. It's the feeling of it. The feeling of playing it. It's so much worse than the 2 games that came before it. And it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for the game to feel like a downgrade when it comes to combat. It's really bad. Alright, we're sitting on 21,000 souls. I'm trying to remember who the most dangerous boss to keep alive is. I'm going to assume the Prowling Magus. Let's kill him. He's dead. It's an easy boss, I should mention, but you can, as you can see, do dumb shit and take a lot of damage. Okay, so let's kill the healers of the congregation first. The Prowling Magus had 1 health bar. We're going to focus on the healers. That makes sense to me. Your accuracy is about as bad as mine with anything that I do in this game. Turns out that we're on an equal playing field to that of the enemies when it comes to bad fucking animations and bad control. I'll give it a rest. Alright. So yeah, this is almost never a difficult boss, this boss that I'm doing here. It's the Prowling Magus and Congregation. They're very weak. They can cause trouble, but only if you're being exceptionally hubristic and, you know, negligent. Sometimes you can feel as if there's no challenge, and then you perform poorly, and then you've got a problem on your hands, because you can actually take damage in this fight. That is a fact. So don't become complacent. Complacency kills. So that would be my recommendation, generally. I think this is where we want to go. Yeah, this is where we want to go. Okay. So, I don't think there's anything in there. There is a ladder that takes us to a vendor. Don't think we really care about him right now. Unless there is some stuff up here. Let's just double check. Back when I was doing this game, when it came out, I would always come up here to pick stuff up. So there might be useful things here. At least one useful thing. Bonfire Aesthetic, that's what's useful here. No wonder I was coming here to pick things up. It's because there's a fucking Bonfire Aesthetic, which is, again, very useful. It's not something that you can just get infinite amounts of. I'm glad I didn't die. If I had died there, that would have been really pathetic. Because that was not a big fall. The amount of health that I just lost from that fall was ridiculous. Not just the amount of health in and of itself, but compared to the distance that I'd fallen, that was just... To describe that as balanced, well, no one would do that. But second of all, there is a certain imbalance that can be identified when it comes to that. I'm going to consume all of this stuff. I consider it a form of decluttering, which has an additional benefit of giving me souls. Alright, so we are going to make our way to Majula, level up with our 40,000 souls, whilst leaving enough to be able to trade for the Lost Sinner's Sword. I think it might even be Lost Sinner's Greatsword. And then also imbue it with lightning damage. So probably 10,000 souls or something left over, ideally. What have we got? Okay, I'll just level up twice, that's fine. We'll take Faith to 30. That's really quite nice, actually. 30 Strength, 30 Faith. Very balanced. We have the adequate amount of Dexterity to wield the weapon that we're going to make. And that's very good. Happy to see that. Returning to the Chapel Threshold Bonfire. Again, I'm sorry that you're hearing system sounds of my controller unplugging and plugging back in. There's not much I can do. It's an old controller with a mini USB port. You fill in the blanks. I've already done that in the past, but fill them in yourself, even if you've never heard me say that before. There was a time when I was literally sitting here going, is this recording at 2 hours yet? Can I fucking stop right now? Okay, no, never mind. It was 1 hour and 40 minutes. Well, I'm assuming by this point I've gone beyond 2 hours, so yeah. If you're seeing, like, bad game performance, it's because... it's a long story. It's not anything significant. This is one of the hardest crystal lizards to kill in the game, by the way. It's really hard to kill. And I killed it successfully. First fucking try. I can't believe it. Titanite Chunk and Petrified Dragon Bone. I think you guys know precisely what I'm going to do with that Petrified Dragon Bone. Oh my god. I'm really pleased to have that in my inventory. I was not expecting to get that. I'm a happy camper right now. Yes, I'm getting a brand new OEM DualShock 3 controller. Yes. Absolutely. I wouldn't get a third party because... I can't trust the longevity of a third-party controller, because some of them are good. I know PowerWave Accessories does good controllers, but yeah, I think PowerWave Accessories is the only third-party example I can think of where, in my experience, it does have demonstrable longevity to them. As far as whether or not I would get another DualShock 3 for my main PC controller, yes, I would do that. The reality is that stick drift is much worse with PlayStation 4 and DualShock 4 and DualShock 5 controllers as compared to DualShock 3, so I'm going to return to DualShock 3, get a new one of those, and yeah. That's what we're going to be doing. And I might get a silver-coloured one. I'm not going to get another red one. I could if I really wanted to. But, you know, I've been looking at this red for a while. So I went from black to silver to red, and then I'm going to just do something different. I might go back to silver, might do a different colour entirely. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm not going to get another red one. Alright. Yes, thank you. I didn't actually come here to read a fucking disquisition about your current living arrangements. I came to actually trade for the Lost Sinner's Sword, which, as it turns out, doesn't have a fucking soul requirement, which I did not expect. Come back again if you find another soul. Will do. Can I don't think I can infuse anything with you. That is exclusively through Macduff, so... I can reinforce with you, but I don't think I'll be doing that. Not right now. I'm very excited to be upgrading this immediately, by the way. Because you can only upgrade a boss weapon 5 times. Is that right? Yes, that is right. It goes to +1, I think, from the standard, so that would be 5 upgrades, for a total of 6 versions of the weapon. What that means is that 1 upgrade is going to be more significant. Like, if you compare 1 upgrade for a weapon that has 11 levels to a weapon that has 6 levels, yeah. 1 upgrade is going to be more significant for the latter. So what am I doing? I'm going to Macduff. Well, Ethan, I will, I'll seek out a recommendation from you. if you can give me a third-party controller that has a better standard of quality in terms of its manufacturing, that matches the layout of a DualShock 3 controller, let me know. Because to be honest, I'm not saying they don't exist, it's just I don't know about them. And if you happen to know about these things, then that would be great to be informed one way or the other. But yeah, one of the problems with using a DualShock 3 controller is that I have to use this very awkward driver that has terrible sound effects, which I think some of you have had to listen to, so that it can be recognized as an Xbox 360 controller. As you guys know, an Xbox 360 controller, or just an Xbox controller in general, is automatically recognized by Windows machines. I wonder why. Might be because Xbox is Microsoft and so is Windows. So, unfortunately, DualShock controllers aren't so easily recognized, so you do actually have to jump through a few more hoops in order to get it to be recognized. I would like to have something that is just recognized as a regular gamepad on a computer. I would like that. If it has good build quality, something that would stand up to a DualShock controller that's going to last, I'm happy to go for it. I do not mind being informed as to what I should buy instead of a Sony controller. Alright, we are going to imbue the Lost Sinner's Sword with Boltstone. It is going to reduce the strength-based scaling, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. Let's do that. Because I did see that this went to a C scaling. Oh, I see. It goes to a B scaling in Thunder now. Well, that's fine, because to be honest, we do have 30 faith and 30 strength, so I don't mind. I'm okay with that. I fucking like this weapon a lot right now. Flame, dear flame, etc., etc. Let's go and equip it. What does it look like? Oh yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. It's an ultra greatsword, but it looks like it could be a regular greatsword. The range isn't too bad. It's very thin, but it is long ranged. It's not short by ultra greatsword standards. In fact, its length, I think, is what has caused it to be treated as an ultra greatsword. I like it. I'm really liking it a lot. We have 380 damage with this versus 271. Now, even though pure raw damage is generally better than a mixture of raw and elemental damage, 380 with this weapon, in my opinion, does beat out the 271 from this other greatsword. So, we're going to use this for now. This is going to be our main weapon, the Lost Sinner's Sword. I like it a lot. I'm very happy with how it's looking. Because this is going to increase in damage as we level up our faith and probably also our strength, but particularly our faith. I hope that the scaling does increase for strength properly. What is important to mention as well is that you can actually increase your scaling without it going from D to C. In this case, I use D to C as an example that relates to this weapon. You will have noticed that, or maybe you didn't notice. If you didn't notice, then go back and check, because it's true. When we went from Lost Sinner's Sword Standard to Lost Sinner's Sword +1 in the Lightning path, we had the D scaling highlighted in blue. It didn't change. It's still the D-scaling, but you see not all D-scalings are created equal. There is actually a level of effectiveness that exists as a value in the back end that is not actually represented by the letter scaling that will increase slightly. It hasn't yet reached the threshold of effectiveness that would give it a C scaling, but it has increased within the D bracket from what the original upgrade was. So we have actually had an increase in scaling. Not enough to make it a C from a D, but it has increased. And that's probably something that not everyone's aware of. But anyway. Yeah, see, this is the thing. The layout is really what I want. Okay. Yeah, I'd like a list. I'm happy to see if there's something I'm willing to make a compromise on, something that's close enough. But to be honest, this layout, the 2 analog sticks side by side towards the bottom, that's what, in my opinion, is best designed for human hands. It just makes the most sense. You know, the resting position of your thumbs is right there. Like, that's it. To me, it makes sense. Why the fuck am I doing weird diagonal business? That's just Microsoft going, oh fuck, we can't do the same thing as Sony. Fuck, what do we do? Oh, I know, we'll make it diagonal. It's actually not helpful at all. It's stupid. So that's where that whole design came from, and then other people just did the same thing. But to be honest, in my opinion, having them side by side just makes a whole lot more sense. But, yeah, we'll see how we go. If not, I'll just get an official DualShock 3. Honestly, the longevity of the mini USB port is probably about equal to the longevity of the parts of the controller itself, like the actual mechanical internals of this controller. So, yeah, again, I've had this controller since around the time this game came out, so it's lasted pretty well. Happy to get another one, because, like I said, am I being invaded? Hurry up and fucking come here then if you're invading me. I don't care. Just don't prevent me from... Okay. Like I said, don't prevent me from using my bonfire. If you want to invade, do it. If not, fuck off. Alright. So... There was something... Yes. So we're going to return to this bonfire. We're going to take another shot at killing that crystal lizard. I'm going to try and actually... exhaust that crystal lizard spawns. I don't know how many times it can die, but let me tell you, it has a chance to actually drop petrified dragon bones. The more of those I can get, the better. Oh, I see, it has a single spawn. That makes sense, actually. Considering how hard it is to kill that motherfucker, it makes sense that it's got a single spawn. Alright. Oh, come on! Fucking hell. Alright. Well, you could be right, Ethan, I don't know. At this stage, I'm not going to take the time to validate the point you've made. But I think you aren't actually considering the possibility that I'm using other fingers, except for my thumbs, to actually use parts of the controller. So for example, when I play Souls, I'm using my thumbs on my analog sticks, while simultaneously using, for example here, my left index finger to interact with all this. So you can see the movement of all of this. See how I'm interacting with all this? This is using my left index finger to interact with the D-pad of this controller. I would say that you would be correct maybe for some people who use the controller, but I actually make use of my left index finger to touch the D-pad. I don't shift my thumb from the left analog stick to the D-pad in order to interact with it. So your suggestion that you're more likely to be diagonal with the DualShock 3 layout, at the very least, doesn't apply to me. So, yeah. Definitely depends on how you use it. Shit! At least get these fucking souls back, please. Fucking hell. Alright, what's going on? Get me out of here. But yeah, I actually, with Souls games, do a double claw. This is the fun part. So, this is what it looks like. And if let me see. I can actually get my OBS window up. Let me see if this is clear. So I do this business. So I've got two thumbs on there, and I've got the index finger on each side. So one index finger is handling the D-pad. The other one is actually doing this business. So I don't know if this is practical for all video games, but that's how I actually play Souls. I have a double claw going on. Now the claw is obviously the technique for when you're playing on a PSP game, and your character movement is with the little nub thing on the PSP, and then moving the camera is on literally the D-pad above the movement nub. So then you literally have to do this business. You're doing like a claw. Well, I do a double claw on both sides to play Souls. That's how I do it. So I literally can, like, I have full movement of everything. So I can be moving my camera, changing my weapon hand, for example, and then also changing this. So how about that? That is a full range of motion across the controller, all done at the same time. Moving the camera, moving my character, changing this, and then also changing hands. You see what I mean? That is why the claw is actually necessary with Souls, and it is because I actually played Souls at a point in my gaming career that was very formative. So Demon Souls in 2009 was one of my first major RPGs that I played, like 3D RPGs. Before then, it was mostly 2D stuff and Zelda. So utilizing the full functionality of the controller all at once was ingrained into me from the beginning. So yeah, that's actually how I play Souls, and that's the ideal way to play because you have the full functionality of the controller all at once. 2 index fingers, 2 thumbs, and then you can use the shoulder buttons with your middle fingers if necessary. But generally I don't find that that's necessary. I tend to shift my index fingers up to the shoulder buttons if they're needed. But yeah. If you really wanted to be weird, you could use your middle fingers on the shoulder buttons, but I don't do that. I always just shift my... It's either I'm making use of it, and even then, it doesn't have to be constantly that. You can shift your hands around the controller as necessary, but as a general rule, yeah. 2 index fingers on this stuff, and then 2 thumbs on the analog sticks at all times. And also, that's why the DualShock configuration is so important to me. In my opinion, it's the best controller configuration out there. I've dealt with other stuff, but just consider that the same configuration was expressed in the design of the Classic Controller and the Classic Controller Pro. Well, the Classic Controller Pro and the DualShock 3 controller are the 2 controllers that I've used the most in my gaming career, by far. I have more hours in both the Classic Controller Pro and the DualShock 3 controller than every other controller I have ever used combined. So, there you go. No, I don't use the claw with modern Monster Hunter games. I only do that with the PS2 Monster Hunter games because you have to do it that way. Because your analog stick for moving the camera in later games is in fact used to attack with your weapon. So that's the only time that I use the claw with Monster Hunter. So PS2 Monster Hunter, that's how it literally was. So your right analog stick would be doing attacks, and then you'd have to use the claw to change the camera. That is PlayStation 2 Monster Hunter. So how I play Monster Hunter these days is a little different. It's because it's not really comparable to how Souls works. Like, your action buttons with Souls are just different. Very different. So, no, I don't use claw for modern Monster Hunter. It's not actually needed. Okay. We have 16,000 souls. 16,736 more, specifically. And I'm going to upgrade with at least... Well, let me phrase it this way. We're probably going to get 2 upgrades with this. Fine. I'm not keeping up with the soul requirement. Fine. Let's not forget about Attunement. We do not want to forget about Attunement. We only have 2 slots, and we have been leaving Attunement in the dust. We have left it to lie fallow, and quite frankly, we don't want to cause our character to stagnate on account of thoroughly abandoned Attunement. We need to get a few more slots, in other words. Okay. I'm in the mood to continue. Generally. Let's do a little bit more, shall we? The reason why I'm willing to do more is because I just got this weapon. I haven't properly used it to progress through the game yet. And I would like to do that, so we're going to do that now. We have 8 human effigy. We are in need of a human effigy. So I'm going to use one, and that's that. We're going to purchase some life gems, because we don't have any, at least no standard ones. I knew you'd be back, says Melentia. Yeah, well, of course. There is obviously the temptation to never come back after you've said that, but you happen to be so convenient that I'm just going to have to live with that. Alright, how do we want to approach this? Would I rather fight the Duke's Dear Fraser? Or Freya, sorry. Duke's Dear Freya. I used to say Fraser because I didn't understand that in European languages, J is actually used as Y. I mean, why have a J? And why have a Y? If J is effectively a Y. Anyway. In Espanol, your J is a fucking H. And in many European languages, such as Slavic languages, your J is a fucking Y. Why? Anyway. Just speak English. Clearly your language is dumb. Just speak it. No. Admittedly, English is quite stupid in many ways, but I don't know. At least we have distinctive letters for different pronunciations. What the fuck? Anyway, I need to make a decision on what I would rather do. Let's do this first. Let's try the Smelter Demon. Am I ready for the Smelter Demon? Not really. Actually, now that I think about it, I would rather increase my endurance or vitality. Which one is it? Let's find out. I don't know what's linked to what. What affects equip load in this game? Is it vitality? I think it's vitality. I would rather increase my vitality than my attunement at this point. I won't consider the last upgrade a waste, but I do want to increase my endurance. I'll be getting lots of upgrades soon, don't worry. If you don't know what it is I'm referring to, you will find out in due time. Let me assure you of that. It relates to bonfire ascetics and acquiring lots of souls. Notice that these enemies take a lot of damage from thunder. Not only does our lightning spear deal more damage to them than most enemies we've come across thus far, my weapon imbued with thunder element is harming them exponentially. I don't know what the fuck this is. Whatever this is in... Let me grab that. Come on. Ugh! I got it, the iron key. Fucking... I can't believe I still have the timing down for that. I should give myself a fucking pat on the back for remembering the timing for that. That is built into my fucking bones at this point. That's one of the few things that I have down pat in this fucking game. Right. I don't know, that's back in the days when this game came out, actually. When I established that for myself. But yes, the iron key is used for something, I don't remember what. You don't actually get the iron key from that in Scholar of the First Sin. They changed the location of the iron key. I don't even remember what the fuck the iron key is used for. All I know is that it's very useful to have. Whatever it ends up being, so... Yeah. I am not really in a good position to be fighting this boss. Except for the fact that I am currently alive and able to summon Lucatiel, I am in a bad position to be fighting this boss. I do not have any healing wares on hand, so... Things could technically be better than they are, but what I'm going to do is make do with what I've got. Sometimes you just have to do the best you can. Being able to kill these enemies with 2 hits, however, is actually speeding up the process to an extreme degree. This is very helpful. What's not helpful is getting an arrow in the ass from you. You bastard. Get over here. Come on, my friend. I'll shield your attack because I don't trust that I can hit you before you can get your attack out. And quite frankly, it's beneficial to take advantage of counter-attack damage bonuses, which are obviously achieved through... What is your fucking deal? He knows I'm there even if the wall is between he and I. See that? He's fucking shooting me through the wall. Fortunately, his fucking arrow cannot penetrate the wall in question. But seriously, I deserve better than that. This is one such situation where I'm very glad that I'm dealing as much damage as I am with this weapon. Kill him, do it, yes. Thank you, Lucatiel. I appreciate your contribution. Alright, are you ready? I've got 13,000 souls. It's a lot to get stuck in the boss room, but not too much. It's probably barely enough to level up once, so things are better off. While I am dealing good damage to the enemies of the Iron Keep at this moment, I don't know for sure that thunder damage is good against the Smelter Demon. I'm going to hope that it's good. I'm going to assume that it's good. But you never know, might not be. It's not looking great. Oops, I'm taking hits stupidly. To start with. That would be the first thing that I'll say. Keep in mind that you can use this shield to block 100% of the damage of this weapon now, but later on it will actually be dealing fire damage, so it will hit you through your shield. Or at least deal damage through your shield. You're doing the ranged attack? Yes, you are. I don't want to get caught in that. This seems to be pretty good for this boss. I'm happy to say that. Okay. We are almost at half health. Getting there. We're now at the final stage of the fight. Lucatiel is helping a lot. Very helpful. She's a beneficial ally. Partially because she is stronger now than she was. She can take more hits. Oh no. We need to now switch to our other fucking weapon. Pursuer's Ultra Greatsword, because that weapon, the whatever it's called, Lost Sinner's Greatsword, almost broke. There is the fucking poor accuracy of this weapon type. Oh my god. Trying to keep out of range of that. Use another life gem. Just take it slow and you'll succeed. That's the way things are. There we go. Good opportunity to deal the killing blow. Goodbye, Smelter Demon, you motherfucker. Smelter Demon soul. I have other things to do, though. There is more for me to do, generally. What? Hello, Griff. I suppose I can summon you if I wanted to just continue straight ahead to the Old Iron King, which I don't want to do. If you can believe that. Alright. Let's walk onto this walkway. Turn this. Not too bad. You tried to get me, but you fucking failed. You fucking failed. Here we are, touching this very hot door. You can literally see the heat radiating off it. Hold on, how many petrified dragon bones was that? Only one. Okay. That's a little disappointing. I'm happy to get one, but I would have liked 2 because I only need 2 to upgrade my weapon one more time. Anyway. Good day. I did press the button that... Oh, okay, that actually hurts this enemy, which is nice. Yeah, fucking kill him. Trying to bring him over here. Apparently, he can actually damage these things, and then when they're damaged, they spew fire that actually hurts these enemies. Okay, now I'm bleeding. Let's get the fuck out of here. I need to climb down. What the fuck? How did I survive that? That is a question and a half. What am I doing with myself? Get the fuck over here, man. What are you doing? How do you like that? Come on, mate. I can't do this. I can do this. Oh, he just killed himself. He gave up. He realized what was in store, and then he realized that there was no point continuing to live on this earth. I agree with the decision that he made in the end. I entirely agree with the decision that he made. Alright. Nearly killed myself doing that. That would have been really bad. I know what I'm doing, yes. I lost myself a little bit, but I now know the route that I need to take. I'm going this way. That archer is still alive, which doesn't please me in any particular way. But yeah, we have 41,238 souls. That is going to be good for leveling up. We are going to head over this way. Light the bonfire. And then open a shortcut. I should mention that this whole area that I'm in now is optional. You do not require this bonfire in order to progress. You will notice that the ladder that is here is in fact the ladder that we accessed over there without needing to enter this boss room. But it really sucks if you don't get this bonfire. This is a bonfire of convenience, not of necessity. But it really sucks if you don't have it. I wouldn't recommend it. Would not recommend subjecting yourself to that sort of misery. Okay, what I'm going to do before I level up is see what I can forge with these 2 souls. Scorpioness. Najka, mate. Where's the wiki dot? Here we are. It was actually last updated fairly recently, which is a surprise. Okay. So. Well, we don't need that. It can only be used to acquire the Soul Shower spell. We absolutely do not require that. Next, we shall have a look at Smelter Demon Soul. God, the search sucks in the fucking wiki.wiki. That really is the worst thing about the wiki.wiki. The search is terrible. Always has been. I'm going to have to go to Souls and then go from there. Old style. Searching on websites? What? No. That's far too modern. It is true that there was a time when you'd actually just have to go through lists to find what you needed, not just use a fucking search to find precisely what you needed. That was fairly modern in the past. But I should say that by 2009, that was pretty standard. But the wiki.wiki did end up being the premier wiki of Demon Souls of the day. So, yeah. Let's have a look. Souls? Hello? No, fuck this shit. I'm using Google. That's it. I'm done. Alright. Dark Souls 2. What's the gold? Something or other. Let's double check. It is Smelter Demon Soul. That's right. Game facts, no. That'll take a while. I'll just ask Game Facts what the Smelter Demon drops in Dark Souls 2. Great. Alright, so the Smelter Sword and Aged Smelter Sword can be forged using this soul. We're going to see how they are. They are both fire-based. No. The Aged Smelter Sword is not fire-based. It is purely strength-based, and quite frankly, I have no desire to use either of them. No, never mind. The Aged Smelter Sword is magic-based. At any rate, I don't want either of them. We are currently at 57,238 souls, which is quite good. Quite good. We can level up 5 times, even at soul level 87. You can see that already soul level progression is just different in this game. We're almost at 100, and we've practically only just started. Like, there is a lot more to do in this game. You are going to reach a very high soul level in Dark Souls 2, just by playing the game normally. The soul level progression is very different compared to Dark Souls and Demon Souls. It's just how it is. I don't dislike that aspect deeply, but yeah, it is different. Alright. I will actually organize things so that I don't have an inventory full of stuff that I don't want. Yeah, there you are. That's a bit better. I don't know if I'm going to make use of the Drangleic sword, but I kept it there just for good measure. I do thank you all for watching. I'm going to conclude my recording here. I will record Dark Souls 2 again after probably a week or two has passed. And, yeah, I do thank you all for watching. Goodbye for now.